This is a homemade broadcast radio production.
Whether your radio dial is set to music or news or talk, each could be offensive.
But when it comes to making waves on the air, dicey language and spicy topics are turning up all over the dial. If you're not a regular to this type of radio, here's a word of caution. You may find it explicit. You decide if Tampa Bay radio is blaring out airwaves or shockwaves. Turn on your radio and find wholesome family entertainment. Turn on your radio today and make your mother blush. Almost nothing is sacred these days when it comes to radio, except not losing the station's license. Radio personalities are pushing all the limits. You may find the language in this story explicit, but the Federal Communications Commission has never fined a Tampa Bay radio station. You be the judge. Are they airwaves or shockwaves?
I don't agree with all of it, but it's very popular.
Personnel, this is CBTS. Space vehicle pre-count operations will start on my mark at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Homemade Broadcast, episode 501. I'd like to personally welcome you and yours to this show, live streaming on YouTube and Twitter, X, and somewhere else, to Facebook, HMB Radio on Facebook. Joining me, the buff, the beautiful Audrey Hale. You look.
I wish I had a Jamaican horn. Hey, what's going on? I just got done with the gym, so I have a good pump going on. So I just kind of wanted to show it off for a second. Sorry.
I can tell. You look great.
Thank you.
What's your secret?
Work hard.
Work hard and eat well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I factor that all into working hard. Nobody wants to hear that, it's like work hard, sleep, and stuff.
Yeah, I actually found some footage of you at the gym. Do you want to see it? I hope this doesn't get us banned on YouTube for stealing copyrighted material. Maybe I won't do that.
Is this Lizzo? Are you going to send me a Lizzo clip?
No, no, I would not do that. Oh, I actually found a photo. This should be okay to show. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on a second.
Is it Dallas Fires?
Nope. No. It's let's see. Do this. And here's a picture of Anna at the gym. Where was that? What gym was that?
Esporta.
Look, yeah, I mean, you look good. Who's this other person? The bald guy.
My trainer.
Okay. What's their name?
Edward.
Okay, Edward and Anna at the gym there. Wow.
Yeah.
It's too bad you don't have social media anymore. That's a new default profile pic, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that's me all day. That's funny, actually. I remember the first time you called me a Grover lookalike. The next day, I had my TV debut, and there was a Sesame Street character running around, and Grover was there. And I was like, dude, twinsies, let's go.
Not only was it a Muppet character, it was Grover.
It was the next day.
That freaked me the hell out, because that was really something special.
Yeah,
that was one where God. I know you don't believe in God or the universe or whatever throws you a bone. Like when I saw the picture, you can't even. It wasn't even laughter. It was just like. Like just breathing real hard. That was
I mean, the comparison is there, and that's why it was so funny. And but the funniest probably was the Dallas Buyers Club, because you were describing it, and then when you showed it to me, you're like, I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm like a really in shape 55-year-old man. Like that's the body type.
Well, now I feel like I gotta find the picture now to find a good one.
It is. It's like too lean, but like kind of buff.
Yeah. Let me see.
It did. Well, I do look like Matthew McConaughey when he had AIDS in that movie. That's me.
Yeah, absolutely. Where the heck? I can't click on the photo. Every one I click on, it's not the right one. This is frustrating.
It's this one right here.
I don't want to get one where he's too much with AIDS. Yeah, because you're not really super thin. I mean, you do have some muscle tone there. But I want to find the right one. I'm sorry, I can't find it. I'm my own producer. This is the thing. You have to just Google Dallas Buyers Club Matthew McConaughey, and it's pretty much on a Hummel now.
Yeah.
It's really something special. So welcome back. My name's Will. This is Anna. This is episode 501, airing on YouTube right now. Like I said, it's also airs on Radio St. Pete, Sunshine 96.7 FM if you're in downtown St. Petersburg, within about a 30-block radius of downtown. You can get this program, and you can always get it on podcast and, HMB radio. I've been doing extra shows, because...
I know. I've been getting notifications.
Oh, you're subscribed on the Tube.
Of course I am.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of them. This week in particular, we're off 3 days this week. We do have a show tonight and one on Friday.
Yeah, I did notice that because on my drive home sometimes from jiu-jitsu, it's around 8 o'clock. So I tune in and then it's just go. And I'm like, I guess they're not on tonight. So
yeah, it's a shame. It's a bummer. But it's always willsyoutube.com. That's all I can say. So I don't know. I kind of told you, I think I got a job today.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to bring that up, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk privately, and I'm so glad that you don't, because I'm very curious as to what this job is and how it might be the demise of this podcast. So please, pray tell.
Yeah, it might be. I got an email notification. I've been applying because technically I'm only part-time at my day job. I work 30 hours a week, but working remotely, sometimes I work way more than what I'm paid for. And just because I don't like for emails to sit. So I'll open a computer at 10 o'clock at night and get a few things done, as long as I can have 0 emails in there, which goes against my time, but is to my employer's benefit. I don't mind. I like those guys. I've worked for them for many years, but
yeah.
So technically I'm working 2 part-time jobs with radio. And now, especially with the Lightning being on and not working 2 to 3 nights a week, it gets tough. Money gets tough. So I've been looking for something else for, oh my gosh, kind
4
of
years.
Yeah, I think that's 2 to 3 years. I would say, like, off and on little spurts applying for things online. And I finally got an entry-level job where I'm going to answer phones for $16 an hour full time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm kind of excited, kind of scared too, because it's like a concession in my life of like, there's no plan B, baby. I want to do radio. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm finding that I might have to have a plan B, because it could potentially not happen. So at least my plan is to just like work these 2 jobs, work this day job, and then work in the evening at my night job, and then do radio in between, and just be constantly tired. Like, that's the plan.
Yeah. Well, when you say night job, what is that?
Well, night job would be pretty much moving this day job that I have now to the nighttime.
Oh, okay. So you would actually work the new job during the day.
Yes.
And then, okay.
And just, I mean, like, I've been at it for so long, that I just know how to do things really quick. And yes, it's off hours and not ideal, but I mean, I could just spend a couple hours every night just getting some stuff done, and everything's still going to be done. And I think as long as it's done, that's all that's going to matter. But yeah, I'm starting January. So I haven't signed any paperwork or anything. They could very well find this podcast and decide not to hire me. But yeah, so it's sort of
remotely?
Huh?
Or is it remote?
It is remote. Yes.
Oh, so you could do everything from home. Literally everything from home.
You can do everything
you
from
do
home.
All 3 jobs potentially from home.
Yes, which is incredible.
That's insane, dude. You're never gonna leave.
They're kind of cracking down on the remote work. I mean, obviously there's a lot of companies offering the remote thing. And now I've noticed, particularly in the past 6 months or so applying, like, it's rare now. They want you at least a hybrid type of schedule where you go in, probably more like 3 days a week to an office, and then you get to, go from home a few days a week. And that's like best case scenario. There's still remote stuff out there, but it's definitely not as prevalent as it was, a few years ago with the virus that was going around. So it's cool. Like I said, it's kind of bittersweet type of feeling, but
Sweet. Sorry, I had to do the Big Head Todd. Couldn't stop.
It's okay. What's up with you, man? Dog?
Just trying to live. Things are good. I'm trying to think about what's coming up. This is my favorite time of the year, by the way. This time in Florida from like November to January, like this weather is kicking. It's still kind of hot. Like, what is it like? It's 77 now, but when I was biking outside a few hours ago, it was like in the 80s, but it was like low humidity. But in the mornings, it's like in the 60s, maybe even in the 50s. And just a lot of, I love Christmas now. I'm big on Christmas. So I'm excited for a lot of the fun activities that we got lined up. Two of my favorite being Thanksgiving and then your birthday. Big Billy is going to be 39. Gross. Have you thought about what you want to do, if you want to do anything at all, or?
I just don't think I'm going to have time to do anything. And so I probably not. I did make dinner reservations. I'm going to go to Council Oak Steakhouse at the casino. So I think I'll probably
with the gal.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're going to do that. And then maybe play a few hands of blackjack, bring a few hundred. I think it's like $25 a hand there. So I probably won't get very far, but hey, you never know what can happen at the tables. That's what I call them, tables.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. Maybe the birthday magic will be on me, and maybe I can dominate those tables at the Hard Rock. The Hard Rock just got their sports betting back.
I did hear that. Chris mentioned something yesterday, and then I remember thinking, like, who cares? But that's a big deal, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's scary for me. I feel like Tiger King, I'm never going to financially recover from this, that famous clip of him, because it is dangerous. Because it's so easy to just place a bet online. You just push a button on your phone and boom, your bet is placed.
So you can do it online. It's sports betting. Why is that so special? Is there an app with the casino?
Yes.
Like how? Okay.
There is an app. Yeah. And it's like you could bet on the weirdest stuff. Like even if you're not into sports per se, like someone
bets, and will this person wear this hat, and how many times will they say this? I get it.
Yeah. So it just makes the games more fun. You're invested somehow. Like obviously I'm a Buccaneers fan. I like to watch the Bucs games, and I'll watch, football no matter who's playing. But if I have some sort of stake in it, it makes it more fun. You feel like you're watching your hometown team, even though you're not, because obviously there's a reward if they win or get a certain amount of points or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's also going to be detrimental to, thank God I got this new job, because it's going to be hard on my bank account because I'm a terrible gambler, absolutely terrible gambler, but I love it so much. It's so much fun.
There's there's like my bookie and stuff. So why is this so special? Sorry.
Not in Florida.
But I mean, it's online either way, right? Like
you can get around it somehow. Like you can place bets. There's one of them that maybe it's that my bookie one that has a AG something .ag, which is an Algerian like .com. Like England has .co.uk.
Yeah, like .au Australia. I get it.
Yeah, so this one has like bet.ag or something. That's an Algerian based company, so you can place bets. But I was never gonna mess with those things.
Okay, so a lot of people don't do that because it's not an American based company, but this is not only American but US
and based in they have locations all over the place, Miami, Tampa, whatever, but it's more close to home. I mean, I would, like, DraftKings has their own, which is like a fantasy football, daily fantasy football, and they'll let you do that where you can put in $5 and then do daily fantasy football where you draft a team. So
this sort of stuff is accessible to you, but this is just more accessible, or?
Well, you couldn't bet on, like, you could make a fantasy football team. For some reason that was allowed, because I guess you're putting it in a pool of a certain amount of players, and then you're collecting based on where you place. It's not really betting. It's just like buying into a competition.
Pool?
Yes. So it's not like a traditional betting type of scenario, but now you can actually place a bet on like the Bears or something or the Bucks, and there's a lot of different bets so you can kind of do. I really don't understand it, so I just got to pick
either, because it's like I understand that the casinos have like sovereignty and you can gamble on sovereign land, but when it's in the Ethernet, how does that work? I don't know.
Well, they had it for a while. They had the app, and I placed a few bets on it. And then they filed like some of these other, like DraftKings, and I think Barstool was involved in it. Like filed a lawsuit because they didn't want the casino, the Hard Rock Casino, owned by the Seminole Indian Tribe, to have the monopoly on the sports betting. So they filed a bunch of injunctions and stuff to try to get to also, have DraftKings here and Barstool's thing so they could do the sports betting as well. The Seminole Indians must have prevailed because now they're the only game in town, and they rolled out the app again. Where you can bet.
So can someone who is not a Florida resident have the Seminole app?
No. So it tracks where your location is. So you have to be in the state. I think you could be anywhere in the state, I think. And maybe it's a city, but I'm pretty sure it's just a state thing. So you have to be within the borders, and obviously they do that by your phone.
And if you're within the borders of Florida, like for example, can you do DraftKings and Seminole betting, or?
I don't believe so. I think that the tribe has the gaming rights to sports betting in the state of Florida.
In the whole state of Florida.
Whole state.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be nice. I wonder what the Seminole Tribe is worth.
Billions, probably.
How many? Let's look it up. Google. How much is the Seminole Tribe worth? Okay. Let's see. 10.4 billion.
Let me ask you this, Will.
7 casinos.
Do you think if the Seminole Tribe, the people that have all the money, do you think if you asked them and you go, hey, listen, would you rather have what you have now? You're a billionaire. That's 9 zeros. Or would you want to bring back all of your ancestors that were brutally murdered by white colonizers? If you were to take that trade, would you just say, I'll keep what I have? Or do you think that they would say, you know what? No, I would right the injustice of my forefathers and sisters and brothers and whatever. Do you think they would take that trade? Because I don't think they would. I think they'd be like, we're good.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. I don't know how many, what is how many members? Is that what you call it? Of the Seminole
members of the tribe? Yeah, I think so.
4,000. So they're all getting a check, based off these, profits. I don't know how much it is.
They're not involved in the casino. Like, say one of them is like a marine biologist. They're still getting a check from the casino.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe I'm Seminole,
I mean, I think there's ways that you have to take some sort of DNA test, I believe. But I don't even know how accurate that. And I think it has to be like a substantial amount. I think you have to be like at least a quarter.
Like 25%. Okay.
Yeah, like it can't be
Elizabeth Warren.
not the one drop rule for the tribe. No, they're not handing out checks unless you're, a quarter, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know that for sure, by the way. I might be, speaking out of school here, but so 4,000 members, they're probably getting a good check. Right?
Yeah. And then I feel like that would motivate me to breed within my own tribe. Like, I don't want to breed that out if, my kids and grandkids would be getting checks.
Oh man. So this article is from 1994. Sun Sentinel says in September 94, the tribe began giving out $1,000 a month payments. And if they have the casinos that go through, each member could see as much as 10 grand a month. So it's probably like they don't work. Probably they're just living off the and that's fine, I guess. but they must be just getting their stipend and getting like
Wait,
100.
so they get 1,000 from the state and then 10 grand or up to 10 grand from the casino, or
Not from the state of Florida, from the tribe, proper, I guess. I don't know where they were getting the money before the casinos, but they had $1,000 a month payments. It says if the tribe receives the go ahead for the casinos, which they did obviously many years ago, each member might see as much as $10,000 a month.
Oh, okay.
That's 1994, $128,000 a year about.
Good.
Yeah, that's sweet. Dividend payments of 128 G's a year. I'm gonna take a test. Can you cheat on a DNA test?
I hope so. If you figure it out, let me know, because I'd love to be a Seminole. Can I say Indian, Native person, American?
Just say member of the tribe.
Member of the tribe. I'm a member of a different tribe. Okay.
Yeah, you got to get both.
Yeah, we're getting pummeled too. So,
there is some rumors that you do get a check every month for being part of the tribe, the number one tribe.
Unfortunately, that's fake news. I wish it was real. I wish it was true, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, me too. The 10 billion, unless the ancestors came with the land still. Oh, that's what he was. Neil would pick the money.
Oh yeah,
the land.
Oh yeah,
that'd probably be. I mean, the land's probably worth more at that point. I saw actually just saw this today, and I'm reading this book, or not reading. I'm listening to it because I can't read. It's let's see if I have it, if I can find it here. It's by Dan Flores. I saw him. He was a guest on Joe Rogan's show. Familiar with him? Anthropologist.
No.
He was pretty cool on the show, and he wrote this book called Wild New World.
Is it the Comanche thing?
No, it's called Wild New World, and it's about it's actually pretty like lefty type of narrative in it, which I was kind of disappointed about, but it's about white people coming to America and just decimating, which I'm sure is true. Like, yeah, I don't question that. These people came from Europe and started just like shooting everything. What
about what the Indian tribes were doing to each other? Because there's another guy on Joe Rogan, I forgot his name, but he talked about how heinous the Comanche tribes were, the Plano, Great Plains tribes, especially the Comanche tribe. I mean, we're talking about some Hamas type stuff, you know what I mean? So,
it's not really about what they did to the native folk, although he did say that they kind of captured natives into hunting animals to the point of almost extinction because of capitalism. Like, he blames the capital of taking the hides and making clothes out of them, getting
the buffalo, the bison.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you can, look at. I'm sure like people were stupid as hell. I'm sure that this probably did happen, but it just gets made me roll my eyes a few times. But so I saw that he was talking about the Clovis people at the beginning of the book, and
the ones with the tools.
Tools, from like way earlier than what they thought.
Yes, I've heard that, and like, how they match tools found in Europe around that same time. So they're suggesting that people.
That's it.
Canoed across the Atlantic.
Yes.
Well, we're on the same page.
Yeah. So that was pretty shocking to see. I'm sure that this study has been this article is from 2012. I'm sure that this has been taken back now. You can't have this narrative out here. If Europeans are the first natives of America, and then everything, I mean, the whole narrative, I'm sure they'll find ways around it. But I mean, that kind of changes everything, right? Like,
so Eastern European, they were Asian, bro. They went Siberia. We thought they went Siberia to Alaska. They went Siberia, then France, America. Different route, same people. Okay, don't try to get it twisted.
Coming from the West instead of the East, you mean?
Yes. They went Atlantic instead of Pacific.
And I know that like the Smithsonian magazine is completely hijacked by ideology now, as most institutions have been captured into certain ideology. I can't imagine that this is still taught.
Oh my God, how amazing would it be if white people were indigenous to America?
The
best.
Dude, that shit.
No, we raped and pillaged ourselves. Who cares?
Guess who's getting the
Cares?
check, though? If I'm the real native, guess who's getting the check? You know what I'm
This
saying?
guy.
Me. It's time. It is time. I don't know. It is wild. I don't even know if it's like confirmed. Like I said, I just have a feeling like even if it was true, they'd be like, no, we can't. No.
Well, Graham Hancock talks about this a lot. I think that's maybe where I got the information from. But, you know, a lot of these people were stuck in their ways for whatever reason, whether it be their allegiance to certain types of science or like political, you know, racial agendas, whatever. But they fight this all the time, even though there's new evidence showing that there were people here like hundreds of thousands of years before we thought. Like we thought that the first Americans were here 20,000 years ago. He's like, there's evidence of people here 130,000 years ago. And if those people came by means of the Atlantic, meaning they came from Europe, then that's hilarious because they are white people with a great tan. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they probably were still pretty dark. I saw something else that some Twitter account, like who knows what to believe anymore, but they said this is probably what a European looked like 12,000 years ago, and it looked like just like an Indian dot not feather type of complexion.
Indian dot not feather. That's pretty dark.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, Indians do have pretty Aryan features.
They do.
They just have dark skin. They have Aryan. I hate saying that. Maybe whatever. They have like straight, not They just have, you know, European hair. It's not the N-word.
It's like it's Caucasian, right? The Caucasus Mountains type of thing was a barrier kind of split up.
Yes, which I believe is in like
it's in India,
northern Eastern Asia, right? Like around Kazakhstan and stuff.
I thought it was India.
The Caucasus Mountains?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like in the Baltic.
All right, we can look it up here. Let's not give disinformation out, you know, on this.
Baltic or the Balkans, or maybe the Balkans.
Caucasus Mountains is a mountain range at the intersection of Asia and Europe, stretching between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea.
Nailed it. That's right by Kazakhstan, I think. Maybe double check.
Doesn't really answer my question.
Uzbekistan, you know what I'm talking about? That part of the world that literally no one cares about.
Okay, so we're talking Georgia, not Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
And Azerbaijan. Yes. And Armenia.
Baku? Can you look up Baku? Is that the capital of Azerbaijan? Because I think it is.
It is. Yes, it is. Sure is. Baku. Yep. Wow. That's impressive, Anna.
Sorry.
So that's the dividing line. It's not even anywhere really close to India at all. It's pretty far. Turkey, Syria. Okay, so it's like, I guess I should pull this up and show you too. This is the beauty of
Will, all I do is look at maps. I think I told you this. Whenever I'm bored, I just look at maps all day long.
It is fun, like using like Google Earth.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know this was right by this. Oh, it's not that far from this. Yeah. Yep.
So this is it right in here.
Yes, sir.
Baku.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Baku. Yep.
So that anything under here is kind of European, south, and everything north is kind of Asian. Is that the deal?
Say that again. South is
everything south of this area here. No, I guess that wouldn't make sense.
That's yeah, north. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, Mongolia is huge.
Yes. I think 90 to 95% of the people in Mongolia live in the capital of Ulaanbaatar.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, like 90% of the people live in that one city.
Are they Russian?
They're Mongolian.
Well, I know, but this looks like Russian.
They look Asian.
But do they speak Russian? Or they speak Mongolian?
I don't know, but I think they use Cyrillic, which is that language, that alphabet. They I don't think they speak Russian, but I think they write with Cyrillic.
Okay. Good to know. Kevin says, let's not argue over who killed who. Kevin, do you know what year it is here? This is all it's about now, my brother. That's what it's about. Who started killing who first? We got to find out.
The difference. You can't punch someone in the face unless they punched you first. Then it's a green light. It's all about who made the first aggression. I mean, right.
Did you see the leaked manifesto of the shooter?
Oh, I sure did. She used some choice words that I am not a fan of. As an American, Jewish, atheist, immigrant woman, I find it to be very offensive. It
was not nice. I can tell you that much. That's for sure. So this is, what's her name?
Aiden. It's they. It's they. First off.
Okay.
Singular they.
Sorry about that. I do.
You know what? Can I make a proposition? If you are trans, you can't steal the plural. So you have to go it. Is that?
Well, some go by it.
Because it would be easier. Because when you start saying they, then we don't know how many people. Is it a party of people or is it just you? You know?
I think that there's a section of grammatically inclined trans folks that agree with you and go by it. Literally.
I would appreciate that because then you start messing with like the conjugation of other things. So for example, if you're singular they, it would essentially be they is coming. Now I sound like I'm from the hood. They is coming, but that would technically be correct because they is singular. But then if they is plural, then it's the standard they are. So, but I'm going to start saying they is.
It sounds like sometimes I feel like they make it as complicated as possible on purpose. Like they all got in a room and said, let's really mess with these fools. Let's do they. And because it doesn't make any sense, it's really hard to, not only speak about, but if you see it in writing, forget about it. It's nearly impossible to. I saw one. It was when Demi Lovato was going by they, them pronouns, and it said something like they. I can't remember, but it was confusing.
Because it messes up the grammar because then everything else is singular, even though their pronouns are plural. So it just gets very confusing, and then you sound like a moron when you're trying to address or talk about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, are you talking about an individual or a group? No,
right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very complicated. But portions of the manifesto belonging to Audrey Hale are circulating on social media months after the debate about its release. Now, we all know that other manifestos of shooters have been released that day, it's not a problem. However, this one was an issue for whatever reason. You can speculate however you want on that one. Steven Crowder, of all people, the host of Louder with Crowder, shared leaked images from a manifesto on Monday morning. The pages released by Crowder allegedly reveal the intentions behind Hale's deadly attack. Now, I got to admit that I had speculated, and it turns out, well, I guess it's only a few pages, so we don't really know. I had thought it had something to do with their transness and the oppression that they felt, and that they just went on a killing rampage for that reason. But in this 3 pages, you didn't really see a lot of that. You actually saw a lot of anti-white type of language, which is weird because
anti-gay.
Yes.
It's a slur used for gays, even though it didn't seem to be targeting homosexuals.
Yeah. Well, that's just shit. Like they use the slang term that starts with an F, that can also be, a bundle of sticks as well. And that word was used, and she called the kids little F words, which just goes to show how great that word is if it's even used by trans, shooters.
Yeah, it just seems a little bit odd because, like, what if she was targeting whites and she called them white N-words? So you're like, well, I mean, she used it incorrectly, but she wasn't talking about the supposed group that it's supposed to offend. So I guess it's okay. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It didn't. It really didn't make any sense. So the national desk for ABC verified the authenticity of the leaked images through its Nashville affiliate Fox 17. 28-year-old Audrey Hale killed 6 people, including 3 students, after breaking into the Covenant School in March. Hale, a transgender man, yeah, I guess that's right, who
It's
reported.
always men, I'm telling you, that are committing these crimes. So you can have it, Will. That is yours to keep. Women are by nature much less violent. So this clearly was a man.
True. True. I can't argue with that logic. Reportedly went by the name Aiden, was previously a student at the school. Fox 17 reported in May that several Covenant parents did not want the manifesto to be released, citing that it could encourage copycat attacks and traumatize the survivors. Hale's manifesto includes an hour-by-hour calendar of the tragic day, which she called Death Day, including everything from getting dressed and eating breakfast to prepare for the attack and time to die, which is very morbid. Also, I got to say, writes like a girl.
Yes. I was
Definite
gonna say,
handwriting. That's
is this really a manifesto, or is this more just like a to-do list that ends with kill everyone?
I mean, you could make the accusation that women are lazy, and she just did a journal entry.
I mean, is it really a manifesto if there's Post-it notes?
Listen, every girlfriend that I've ever had has kept a planner, and
yes, we love it. We love that stuff.
This person seems to be no different. She had kept a planner of her death day.
Yeah.
Even including with Post-it notes, which I've also seen. So yeah, I wouldn't call this a manifesto per se, but
this is a honey-do list. Yeah. Honey don't list. Yeah, right.
It's very strange. She wrote about, or Hale, we'll try to be respectful here, I guess. I don't
why she's a monster who killed. He is a monster who killed a bunch of innocent people. It is a monster. Sorry.
Hale wrote about her. See, they say they switch pronouns, and it's so tough. Wanted to have a high death count. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell released a statement on Monday announcing an investigation to determine how the documents were leaked. The guy said, "I'm deeply concerned with the safety, security, well-being of the Covenant families and all Nashvillians who are grieving," Mayor O'Connell wrote. But I guess it has been confirmed. I didn't really say anything about it initially because I don't trust Steven Crowder to give accurate information. He has been known from time to time to make a spectacle of certain things. So, but yeah, it looks like it has been confirmed that it was this person's manifesto. And I wonder if there's more coming.
You mean more to be released?
Yes.
One could only hope. I doubt we're going to see much more from the mainstream media on this. It seems like they're trying to conceal this for reasons that seem obvious to you and I. But we wouldn't want to think that this type of person is crazy.
Yeah.
But clearly they is. They is.
He is. That's the name of this episode. They is, I think.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find a picture. Yeah, obviously some surprise. I mean, like, it almost seemed, I got to pick my word, not too good to be true, but like exactly what people, especially on the right, would want out of this shoot. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want anything out of it, but it makes it like, it's just like anti-white bull. It's like the ideology that's going on right now acted out to its worst form. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't even like, I'm trans and I feel this. It was just like, I don't like white kids. They're stupid.
It's like, why didn't you start with shooting yourself? Like, why didn't you start there? Because I don't know if it was aware, but it is pretty white itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's
those crackers.
Yeah. Right.
Going to private fancy schools, which was a school that it itself attended.
Yeah. With those fancy khakis and sports backpacks that bothered it apparently with their
You, you
Caddies,
know,
Mustangs, and
you know that song, pumped up kicks, let it run. It's like that is the manifesto. Like the lyrics of that song are that manifesto. Have you ever listened to that song?
Mm-hmm.
Like what it's really about? I think it's about a school shooting.
I would play it, but I think we'll get
let it run, outrun my gun, all the other kids, and he's just talking about wanting to kill little rich kids. That it is that song. That's the song.
Kill those kids. Wow. F you little S's. I want to shoot you weak ass. D word with mop yellow hair. Want to kill all you little crackers. Bunch of little a very good word. That's a very bad word, but so much so that even a trans shooter used it. Bundle of sticks with your white privilege. F you, then use it again. F word. For that's bad. You shouldn't say ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's been confirmed that it's real. I don't even trust. I mean, I don't have any faith in news now to be like, yeah, we confirmed it. Did you? You've confirmed a lot of things in the past that, not to play devil's advocate a little bit here.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying that this could be some sort of, false flag on the right trying to show like, hey, look at what the left is doing. They're feeding people this information and crazy, weird trans people are absorbing it, taking it in and taking it out on unsuspecting victims. So it could be. Who knows, Will? Anytime I talk about anything anymore, I always end it with, I don't actually really know anything.
Me too.
Who knows what's true?
On my videos that I've been doing, I just go, I don't have any opinions. I just observe things and I talk about them. I don't know what's going on. That's what I say now. I don't have any concrete opinions on anything anymore. I have
an opinion on what you think might be facts, but when the facts themselves are debatable, it gets really complicated.
Yeah. Neil says, I don't think anything about a mass shooting makes sense. You can't explain. That's true too. I mean, quite clearly disturbed mentally. Yeah, I mean, especially it's a certain type of mass shooting too, right? It's not like the Ybor shooting where a lot of people got shot and died, and this is like a rampage type of shooting.
It had an agenda. This wasn't like unplanned. This was very much planned. It was in a planner, actually. It seems with post notes and pink highlighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, this seemed like it was. Yeah, because you're right. The other thing was like meant for a person or two, but a lot of people got in the way and got shot and killed or hurt. But this was like planned against white people. So
yeah, premeditated, those type of shootings. It's not like, because the FBI defines a mass shooting as like 3 or more shot or something.
Yeah,
but it's a certain type, like this one and others. The Pittsburgh one comes to mind. Like, I don't know. It's a damn shame. And it is like quite clearly those people are mentally. I'd be very interested to know if she was on any medication, psychiatric medications. That seems to be some correlation there with people who do this. And you could argue that, well, they're a little wacky, so they're medicated. So is it, a cause of it, or is it,
a lot of times it seems like it's when they go off the meds that problems happen. Because, you can't just be like, oh, they're taking the meds, but sure. But what happens when they go off of them? What I've learned, and I've talked to quite a few people who have siblings that are schizophrenic, for example. And I think a common antipsychotic is like lithium, which I know is like a mineral, whatever, put in your phone and stuff, but it's also a medication, antipsychotic medication. And I remember I had a friend in Michigan whose older brother was schizophrenic and got pulled over by the police. And they're like, where are you going? And he's like, to see my wife, Beyonce, like one of those things. And he hated his meds because what they do is they just make you feel numb to everything. apparently. So it doesn't feel, it's not good when nothing feels good. So even when you're feeling bad, you're feeling something, if that makes sense. Like the schizophrenics, like even when they're feeling paranoid, they have moments of mania where they're energized and they're feeling life, even if it's crazy stuff. But when you're on antipsychotic medication, like a lot of it, you know, like the kind of Britney Spears 1,000-yard stare, like there's just nothing there, and they don't like that. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't either. Where like everything is bland, like even a fun moment is just bland. Something that tastes good or should taste good is just bland. I imagine it just makes life bland, and no one wants to live a bland life. So I think the problems often occur when they go off the medication. But again, I don't know anything, so there's that too.
Well, you have, I mean, some of the side effects are listed of these medications are suicide, like harming yourself by taking the medications listed as a side effect.
Which is odd, because you'd think that they're taking that because they're crazy and they might hurt themselves or others, but then the actual medication makes them hurt themselves or others. So I don't know.
It might be, I mean, like it might be that there's a correlation, but not necessarily the cause, right? So is it the medication that they're getting off of, or because they're on it, that's making them do these terrible things, or were they going to do these things anyways and the medicine helped, I don't know, reel it in a little bit, reel it in?
Yeah, I know it's not the same thing, but with SSRIs, like they don't stop people from being depressed. They take the edge off. Mm-hmm. So, you know, maybe you miss a day or you go off a few weeks or whatever, like, and you can still kill yourself with SSRIs. It's just taking the edge off. Like we're maybe between you and suicidal is like 8 to 10, say, in that range. It's just keeping you at an 8.
Yeah.
Like the SSRI. So like people think oftentimes if you take SSRIs, like it'll make you happy. But it's literally just taking that fringe off. So you're much better like getting your life together and like exercising, getting sleep, and going outside and catching some sun rays. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I took those things from when I was a little kid, from like 6 until I was about 16. I was on, you know, some sort of medication, not an antipsychotic, but like an SSRI inhibitor type of thing. But that was the 90s. Like everybody was on it. Children, like a lot of people were on it at that point.
Yeah.
And one day I was
briefly as a young adult, but yeah.
Yeah, which, you know, I mean, weight's always been a issue with me, and I was a little skinny little twig, and then I got on this medication called imipramine when I was like 6, 7 years old, and became the fat kid in a summer after that.
I thought that you had attributed that to like Ritalin or something.
No, I didn't take Ritalin. I was on the SSRI.
Oh, okay.
So that was what that did. And I don't know if it's still a cause now or not. I know it's one of the side effects I've looked up, you know, is weight gain. I don't know if it has any long-term effects, but I was a little kid.
I was going to say, on a developing body, who knows?
And brain, you know, for that matter, not only body, but brain.
Yeah.
So luckily, I kind of, without my parents knowing, which is probably pretty bad, I just went ahead and tossed them one day when I was like 15, 16, and then just said, like, I haven't been taking this for like 3 months. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Don't take it anymore. Then we left it at that. I didn't go back to, you know, the psychiatrist and kind of left it there. And I've been a semi-productive member of society ever since, who thinks about killing, but would never do it.
Yeah. Now, so you took it for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, my whole childhood, pretty much, up into my late teenage years.
Yeah, who knows what that has on like a prepubescent and then a pubescent body. I don't know.
I attribute a lot of my physical ailments to it. I don't know. I can't prove it.
Sure.
But I just have a feel like, how could it not? How could you take a medication like that, which messes with the chemicals in your brain, that's still developing and growing, and not even, you know, these processes are, you know, changing all the time, and just throw this medication? I mean,
yeah. What was I going to say? The like hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, it all starts in the brain. So, and that affects metabolism, and your thyroid is like hypothalamus, pituitary thyroid, something like that. So, and this is all in the brain. Thyroid affects your metabolism gland, essentially one of them. So, if you're affecting the brain, you're affecting the rest of the body. And again, I don't know anything about imipramine. Is that what it was called? Imipramine?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, but I do know that, things that start in the brain certainly affect the rest of the body. So even when it comes to things like weight, body development, puberty starts like in the brain. It's like the pituitary gland goes off and sets off a chain reaction of events that allow you to go through puberty. So
yeah, like I said, I'm convinced of that. I've talked to, doctors about it, and they kind of go, yeah, probably, but they haven't I don't know, looked into it too much or anything, or been maybe they just can't do anything about it now or something. So they don't even bother, trying to do anything about it. And what could they do anyways? Probably give me another medication. My doctor was like, you should try, what's the one that everybody's taking now for weight loss, the diabetes?
Semaglutides.
Say what?
Semaglutides.
No, it's like a shot.
Yeah. Wegovy, Ozempic. Yeah, they're all semaglutides. Most of them are semaglutides.
Okay. Well, he was like, you should try that. Let me write you a script for that. That should help, your weight. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take any medication or anything if I don't have to.
Don't do it. I've read a decent amount about that, and hopefully I can speak freely here. Never mind. I'm self-editing. But of what I've seen, first of all, there was a woman who took it for her daughter's wedding to lose some weight. She died. That was in New York Post yesterday. I mean, she could have been other things, but whatever. But wasn't
it a knockoff? Wasn't it a knockoff?
I don't know. I thought it was Ozempic. It just said Ozempic. It didn't say. Maybe it was a knockoff. I don't know. I really didn't read too much into that. But what I did read into is that 50% of the weight lost by those who take semaglutides like Ozempic and Wegovy, 50% of the weight that was lost was muscle. Mm-hmm. Not fat. 50% fat, obviously, but 50% was lean muscle. You want to gain as much muscle as you can. Muscle is like a kitchen sink of metabolism, calorically speaking. They're expensive, which is what you want, and you want to obviously get bigger, and the more muscle you have, you probably have better bone density. And, lean muscle is like a ticket to longevity, no doubt. But when you're losing 50% of that weight loss is muscle, that's not a win.
And not only muscle, but connective tissue.
Yeah. Possibly that too. Absolutely. And we certainly don't want to waste away our joints, ligaments, and certainly not muscle. That's not helping anybody during the aging process or ever. So
I mean, look too, if there's a medication that's being widely used right now to the point where there's knockoffs and people are dying from taking the knockoffs, and there's such a huge demand for it that there are knockoffs, and then you hear about class action lawsuits from major firms saying, if you're taking these medications, give us a call because we're going to sue the pharmaceutical company, and people are still scrambling for it.
Yeah.
It's not good. I know. I mean, my dad was taking it, but he has diabetes, it's a diabetes drug, and he had to stop taking it. He couldn't do it anymore. He just felt ill.
You do get nauseous the first couple weeks, and that's why they don't start you out on full dosage. They start you off with I don't know, 0.25 milliliters of whatever, and they work you up to 2. So you got to be careful with that. And also, I am unless you have a deficiency in something, stay away from anything hormonal. If it's messing with your hormones, and that doesn't necessarily, because when people think hormones, they just think sex hormones, right? Steroids or estrogen. It's no, cortisol is a hormone, insulin's a hormone, leptin, ghrelin, these are all hormones, things that are affecting your body and your mind. And the last thing you need to be doing is taking that haphazardly to lose a few pounds. If you want to manipulate your hormones, manipulate it through sleep, through exercise, through things like that. But just taking that, because think about anything that your body's just going to adjust to it. You're not really solving the problem. And eventually when you do come off it, which I imagine is the goal, I mean, your appetite will just return. So what was the point? Like, how are you helping people get off of it? If it suppresses their appetite, then they go off of it, and now they're just as hungry as they were before, and they gain all the weight back, probably more than they did before. So
Yeah.
stay away from that stuff, you know?
Yeah, Mike said that he saw a documentary about it on YouTube. Yeah, send it. I'll check it out. And I did know that too. I mean, my doctor told me that's what it does. Like, you feel the food moving through your intestines, and it just slows down your digestive system to the point where your body's like, don't put any more in here. I got stuff in here. Don't do it. So
Yeah, like, it makes you sick when you eat. I mean, that's not good. So
no, not at all. It's 5:00. You probably got to go, huh?
I sure do.
That was a very productive conversation today, Anna. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. And
thank you.
let's do it again soon. We'll have to.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I should do something for my B day, but also I feel like I'm out of time to plan anything.
Well, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm going up to Jacksonville.
What?
Yeah, I'm not going to be here for Thanksgiving. I know. Johnny was like, "Hey, man, we're getting ready to do." I'm like, I can't make it this year. I'm not going to be here. I know.
What a jerk.
It's devastating.
Well, we'll do something, even if it's not on your birthday. And I know your girl's birthday is the following week, but we'll find some time in December to get together and do something cool.
We definitely will. Anna, it's a pleasure. Good luck at karate, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
There she goes. There she goes. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Appreciate it very much. Please do share it with your friends if you enjoyed it. You can, if you're on social media, obviously that helps too. You can share it that way on whatever platform you use, and subscribe to YouTube, willsyoutube.com. Hit the bell, and also on your podcast app. Some people listen that way. I'm an audio man, pretty much strictly, but I am evolving into the 22nd century of video as well. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you. You'll see me tonight at 10 on the Bone, and otherwise I'll have another video tomorrow. So willsyoutube.com. Thank you. Goodbye.